How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Yell and Estelle Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm Zachary Weinberger here with JP Acosta. JP, first of all, how's it going?
It's going great, man. We had a great week of we're having a great week of pro wrestling so far. It's always going to be really hectic with WrestleMania week coming up, with WWE running their biggest show of the year, NXT having their biggest show of the year. You got AEW still running shows, independent wrestling. It's just a really great week to be a wrestling fan.
Absolutely. And you heard it here first. Our last episode, we talked about NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, which we'll talk about in a future episode, probably with WrestleMania, just kind of giving our reactions on both shows. A really good show there. A lot to live up to for WrestleMania match-wise. There's a couple matches. Just a spoiler. The two matches that really stood out to me, obviously, day one was Walter and Ciampa. That was better than I expected. And then, obviously, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole night two was just phenomenal. So, WrestleMania. Listen, overall, I want to get your thoughts on the card, JP, just kind of overall night one and night two, because there's a lot of matches here that could steal the show. It's kind of a stacked card, some a little whatever. But what's your general excitement for
Uh,
WrestleMania?
Honestly, I'm really excited for this WrestleMania. It's the first WrestleMania without John Cena, without Charlotte Flair, without Becky Lynch, doesn't have The Undertaker or Triple H. And this is honestly a really good card. You got the title matches with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks main eventing night one, Edge, Roman Reigns, and Daniel Bryan main eventing night two. Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley going to open the show, which is going to be amazing. But even without the title matches, you have Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. You got Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. You got The Fiend versus Randy Orton. There's so many really good matches and potential to be show stealers on this card that it makes me really excited, even though you don't have those top tier people like a John Cena or a Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like I said, this secretly, like, NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver is a stacked card all around. WrestleMania, I guess, is for, even though it's the grandest stage of them all, it's to showcase the Immortals. It's like subtly stacked, which I feel like people are not even talking about. Just, I guess, the builds with some matches have been the greatest, which we'll talk about, obviously. But this is obviously a special episode. Obviously, this is our first WrestleMania with the podcast, so that's a huge deal right there. So hopefully for way more, and we'll have a bigger audience by then, as there's motorcycle people outside my place. If you can hear that, I don't even know if you can.
It's a Triple H
But
biker gang. It's a Triple H
there you
biker
go.
gang from that entrance.
He's coming out and with Stephanie McMahon on the back. Yeah, it's great. And again, that's the thing, is that this is gonna be the first event with fans. It's gonna be a special day. So let's get straight into it. And speaking of matches that could steal, well, first of all, we're gonna obviously go by night. There's 7 matches on each night. We're gonna start with night one. Um, and also, we're gonna go over what's been happening maybe the past couple weeks on Raw and SmackDown, just kind of give you a little bit of a refresher. But I might as well start with this one because I feel like besides this match, I'm kind of excited for everything else. It's Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman in a steel cage. Um, so I mean, JP, just because I know you're really excited for this match, I'll let you start first on. So again, like, I'll just reference it again. The way we do this, we talk about what's gonna happen in the match, what we think is gonna happen, who we want to win, and who we think is gonna win. So JP, match of the night, match of the century. What do you
Oh
think is gonna
God.
happen?
So this build has been terrible for Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman. It's been absolutely pitiful. Um, I feel like this is right up Shane McMahon's alley for WrestleMania, where it's got to be a gimmicked match like a steel cage or Hell in a Cell, Falls Count Anywhere. He's gonna do something crazy. He's gonna jump off the cage or something. It'll be really cool to see him jump off the steel cage. That'll be a pretty fun moment. I think and want Braun Strowman to win though, because I really just want this to be over. That's really it. I don't necessarily like Braun Strowman. I don't hate Braun Strowman, but I just want this to be over, man. I don't like this feud. I think Braun can be doing better things than this. But the spectacle of Shane McMahon jumping off the top of a cage is going to be pretty fun to see.
Yeah, I'm picking Braun on both accounts. Pretty much for the same reasons. Even though I'm scared what they're gonna do is that Shane McMahon's gonna get Braun Strowman so mad Strowman's gonna throw him through the cage, and then Shane's gonna roll out, obviously, and he'll win, and he'll make Braun Strowman look stupid. Which again, I this should not go past WrestleMania. this feud. Obviously not. I mean, technically, it's been through two pay-per-views with Fastlane, technically. So let's just let this be over. And hopefully it's a good match. I mean, Shane McMahon, I'm not saying has not put on bad matches. Like, I don't think anybody really expected that much, I guess, out of him and AJ Styles in that one WrestleMania. It was not a bad match. I mean, obviously Styles is a great wrestler, right? But hey, but Shane McMahon's the best wrestler in the world. We know this.
And even that match with The Miz at 36 wasn't bad. It was Falls Count Anywhere, but it wasn't a bad match. I really enjoyed it. I think this is right up Shane McMahon's alley, like I said, where there's really not that many rules. He doesn't have to like focus strictly on the wrestling and more just do the Shane McMahon stuff that we know Shane McMahon does, which is jumping off of stuff that's really, really high.
Absolutely. So, and again, I'm at least hoping for an entertaining match, and I'll just kind of reiterate what you just said. I mean, this whole buildup has been just really awful for, and it was funny, watching Shane McMahon kind of stumble on his words for like 10 minutes, and that was kind of the whole promo. I thought he in that promo he forgot his lines, but that was part of it. So yeah, just let this be over, man. Listen, I know that Shane McMahon, like, he likes to have a match at WrestleMania, but hopefully it results in an entertaining match and Strowman wins here, and we move on. So that's it. I'm glad we got that over with, because pretty much every single match, is kind of exciting in a way. So we'll keep going, and we'll talk about actually the tag team match here, Bad Bunny and Damian Priest going up against the Miz and John Morrison. This match was supposed to be the Miz and Bad Bunny, but I'm glad, especially when they made that match. We put our thoughts on Twitter saying like this should be a tag team match, obviously, to get Damian Priest in there. They're doing it. I'll start off here. We're gonna alternate kind of takes on who's gonna win, who's not. This is probably the easiest match to pick. I would feel like this whole card for WrestleMania, and you have to give it to the big celebrity here with Bad Bunny. But again, I think that Damian Priest, this is why I love this match. It's because Damian Priest, I think he's a future main eventer in the WWE, and you're putting him pretty much on the grandest stage in his first WrestleMania match with a huge, celebrity like Bad Bunny getting the win over Miz and Morrison. I think it's great. I think it's beneficial all around. Miz and Morrison, I mean, I'm not saying they hurt with a loss here. I mean, they've been losing forever now. It's fine. Um, so I think Bad Bunny and Damian Priest get the win here. I want them to win. Again, the easiest match to pick here. Damian Priest looks great. Bad Bunny looks good. He does a couple moves. He's been training. It's gonna be great. So it'll be enjoyable. But that's my pick. What do you think, JP?
I actually think this match is going to be a lot better than people expect it to be. And I think the main reason for that is because Bad Bunny and Damian Priest are facing Miz and Morrison, two veterans in the ring who aren't going to have necessarily terrible matches or even bad matches. I think the Miz and Morrison both have enough experience to kind of guide Bad Bunny through the match. I think Damian Priest is going to take most of the offense, but it's like you said, this is really going to be a great moment, like a showing out moment for Damian Priest, because last year he was on NXT feuding with Finn Balor, and now he's with tagging with Bad Bunny, facing Miz and Morrison at WrestleMania. That is literally like a great year, like a year of a lifetime, honestly. And like I said, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm going with Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. I want Damian Priest and Bad Bunny to win because it just makes the most sense. It's going to be a really fun match. And low key, it'll probably be better than Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman.
Definitely more enjoyable. That's for sure. I think so as well. And again, like you kind of said with Damian Priest, I think it's a great start to your main roster career, which I feel like for a lot of people that talk about and criticize the NXT call-ups, and sometimes, most of the time for very good reasons. This is definitely a really good start. Putting him with a big celebrity like that, you get more eyes, like even the non-wrestling fans, on a guy like Damian Priest hanging out with Bad Bunny. I think it's just great all around. So, the fix is here. The big celebrity wins at WrestleMania. It's a WrestleMania moment. It's going to happen. We move on to the tag team turmoil for the women's tag team titles. The winner gets a shot on night 2 the next day. We have 5 squads here. We got Natalia and Tamina, Naomi and Lana, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, the Riot Squad, and the newly formed team of Carmella and Billy Kay. So, JP, I'll let you start here. Who is going to win this? Who's going to get the title shot? And maybe just general excitement for this match, if there is any.
Uh, I don't know if I'm excited for this match because it feels like they threw this together in like 2 weeks, where it's like, hey, we need to give something to the women's tag champs because they are champions. Everybody just go fight them. So it just feels like a lack of care from the WWE creative for this whole thing. And I think that stems back to having the women's tag champs fight Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, then Asuka and Rhea Ripley, instead of actually building a feud. So I think that it's going to be a really interesting match because doing a 5-way tag team match is going to be a lot of chaos. I wonder if it's going to be like tornado tag rules. If it's tornado tag rules, it could be really fun. But I think Naomi and Lana are going to win, mainly because that whole feud with Lana and Nia Jax, they, well, I don't know. I'm going to stick with Naomi and Lana. I think it's going to win. Who I want to win is the Riot Squad because I think the Riot Squad is one of the only true women's tag teams that they have. So if you're gonna make the titles change, then you should have them win because they're the one true tag team.
Yeah. I'm gonna be purely acting of emotion here, and I'm gonna predict the Riot Squad to win. And like you said, it's pretty much my thoughts. They're the only established tag team in this whole turmoil. I mean, I don't hate. I mean, again, we this past Friday on SmackDown, we pretty much almost saw Tamina beat Nia Jax, which Shayna Baszler almost got interfered, which Shayna Baszler did interfere, and it cost him the match. Maybe they're showing that as maybe Natalya and Tamina being a formidable team. They just got thrown together though. Again, all these other teams, I'm just thinking about what is realistically a WrestleMania match, right? Naomi and Lana versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. To me, I mean, we've seen it before a couple times. We'll see it a third time at WrestleMania. I just don't think that's a WrestleMania match. However, I do think whoever wins this, I mean, I guess spoiling my prediction for night two, I just think that whoever wins is going to take the titles off of them. I just think it needs to be the Riot Squad. You know, they're the only established tag team. They deserve the WrestleMania moment. People are on their sides. Obviously, it doesn't really matter to just compare on who the creative is on their side, but why not, man? I mean, what else are they gonna do? And I can see. I guess I could see. I mean, the second team to win, I would think, would be Naomi and Lana. Maybe Billy and Carmella can get something there, but just give it to the Riot Squad already. It's pretty on emotion, but whatever. I'm
I
taking them, and I
think
want them to win.
I think if they are gonna make the titles change hands, it's gonna be the Riot Squad. But if they don't want the titles to change hands, then it's going to be Naomi and Lana. That's kind of how I'm judging this decision. I think the title needs to change hands. Honestly, it should have went to Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, but we saw how that went. But I don't know, man. It just feels like they kind of threw this together. But I'm excited for all the women getting their WrestleMania moments. You know,
I am too. So that's why I don't mind this match. You know, it just depends on who wins this, and I can see realistically the only team I don't see winning this is Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. That's the only team I really don't see winning this. I mean, I can kind of see Natalia and Tamina just because of what they've been doing to the team the past couple of weeks, but just do Riot Squad, please do Riot Squad and
I
have them
honest,
win a night too. It will
I
be a good
honestly
moment.
don't. I don't think there's any chance Billy Kay and Carmelo win because they literally just formed yesterday.
Literally,
Like we're not joking. They literally formed a tag team yesterday.
literally. Um, yeah. So hopefully again I want and I hope the Riot Squad win this, and I just think that the whole Nia Jax Shayna Baszler team should just come to an end at this point. I think it's run its course. Now you have Reginald in there, and it makes it even less interesting than what it is originally. Our favorite Reginald, obviously. Um, so again, I'm picking the Riot Squad and hoping they can win a night too. So we'll move on from that. The tag team tournament. Also, they really haven't seen. They also haven't revealed what the rules are. I don't know if it's like all 5 teams in a row, or it's like a gauntlet match sort of thing. I don't know.
I think it
We'll
might be
see.
tornado tag because there are only four corners
All
to a ring. So
all wow. All 10 people are gonna be in the ring. Oh my god, that's gonna be terrible. We'll see. We'll see how that happens. But we move on. We move on to one of the matches that we were talking about this past couple weeks, several weeks, that could be a show stealer. or Night Stealer, even the whole card stealer, Seth Rollins takes on Cesaro here. And what's happened the 2 weeks prior, we saw a really good kind of segment where it was Cesaro and Seth Rollins kind of in this, Corey Graves giving an interview to both of them. Cesaro was getting under his skin by saying kind of swing puns to Seth Rollins because he got swung 22 times. And Seth
Exactly
Rollins
22 times.
exactly 22. And Seth Rollins got really angry. He was basically, telling Cesaro that again, he really hasn't amounted to anything in the WWE. He wants to be like him, who has accomplished a lot of stuff. When it comes to Mr. WrestleMania, he thinks that himself should be it, Seth Rollins, because of the heist of the century, slaying the beast, yada, yada, beating Triple H, stuff like that. Cesaro, again, so we said this before. I mean, when it comes to the in-ring work, this could be great. Last week or yesterday, we saw a very funny Seth Rollins political ad towards Cesaro, saying how he sucks, he hasn't accomplished anything, and at the end it says this ad was paid by Seth Rollins' friends and not himself as he's saying it. He's saying that in the ad. It was great. I wish we got more of those, to be honest with you. But it was great. So I'll start here. I think it has to be Cesaro. This is Cesaro's first singles match in WrestleMania.
Oh man.
When I heard that, I was shocked because again, I know he's been in the company for a long time. He really hasn't gotten once. He got I guess they're not counting it, which I see why. I think he had a pre-show match the last year's WrestleMania.
With Drew
Um,
Gulak. It was on the
with Drew
pre-show.
Gulak. So yeah, so I guess that was the closest he's got. But now getting an opponent like Seth Rollins. The story is behind that. I mean, again, Seth Rollins has a point technically because of what Cesaro has done. I mean, obviously not his fault, right? But that storyline is there in his first WrestleMania singles match against Seth Rollins. I think they're gonna tear the house down. I hope they give him as much time as they can because again, I think that these two could put on the best match of the night, the best match of the card, the whole card. We'll see. There's a lot of great matches here. I think Cesaro takes it, and I want Cesaro to win. I just don't see a way to. Man, they would really hate Cesaro if they made Seth Rollins winner. I mean, in his first match. So, again, I think it'll be great. We'll see how many times he swings him. I think he'll get more than 22.
Oh yeah.
I think he'll break the
over
record
22.
here. That'll be a great WrestleMania moment right there. So I think Cesaro takes it. What do you think?
So if you were a Ring of Honor fan around 2009, this is one of the matches for you. If you remember Tyler Black, Claudio Castagnoli, now Seth Rollins and Cesaro,
Bro.
this is honestly gonna be a really great match. I'm so excited.
Bro, I have to say something real quick. I hate to interrupt, but like Adam Pearce posted the roster list of Ring of Honor in that year, and I swear like every time I looked at it, I discovered a new person that I know. Like I saw like obviously like Brian Danielson and the other people like that, Kevin Steen, El Generico, those kind of guys, and then I see Tyler Black. I'm like that guy looks a little familiar. I never heard of this. And what was Cesaro's name in Ring of Honor?
Claudio Castagnoli.
I was like, who is this guy? And I'm like, oh wait, hold on, that's Cesaro. It's crazy. But keep going.
Yeah, man, this is one of my favorite, more anticipated matches of the night. I said when this was getting built, you give them 20 minutes and a ring, they're gonna put on probably one of the best matches of the weekend. And I think this is gonna go that way. Cesaro's an absolute beast in the ring. Seth Rollins is one of the best. I don't think there's any way you can go against Cesaro winning. The reason why is because Seth Rollins can build himself back up. He's built up enough credit within the WWE to just say, "Hey, I want a title shot because I'm Seth Rollins," and they'll be like, "Okay." Cesaro has to win these matches. This in a way, this feels like a number one contenders match for the Universal title. The person who wins is going to challenge for the Universal title. I feel like it's going to be one of those matches. So I'm going to say that Cesaro wins, and I also want Cesaro to win because I think he needs it the most. And him becoming the number one contender for the Universal title, that match with whoever wins is going to slap.
No, absolutely. And again, I've said this before on the pod where this match has the ability to be one of those matches at WrestleMania where it's not for a title, but it just is the match of the night. I mean, obviously, I think of Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels at 21, and which was great. I mean, obviously the easy one is obviously Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, but those two had amazing stories that were built on for a long time. But even Jericho and Shawn Michaels at 19, I mean, again, like these two can really just tear the house down. Again, I hope they give him at least 20 minutes. Again, I just feel like they can really do a lot of stuff there. And it's interesting you say the whole number one contenders thing because, obviously I think Cesaro is due for a title shot. I don't think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. He's been in the company for so long. Has he even ever gotten a world title shot? I don't even know.
I
So,
don't think so.
so maybe it's time, will he win it? I don't know. We're getting too far ahead of ourselves because we saw what Shinsuke Nakamura did in the Gauntlet match. We were so excited. The push, yes, he's coming back. He's gonna be in the title picture. Nowhere to be seen. Can't even win the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial, but um, it we'll see. But again, it's gonna be a great match. I'm excited for it. Cesaro for the win there from the both of us. So we move on to our final three matches of the card. Let's go to the Raw Tag Team Championship match. The New Day defend against AJ Styles and Omos in his in-ring debut in the Showcase of the Immortals. JP, what are you thinking here? Do your boys come out with the win, or do we see new champions?
I am irrationally excited for this match. Like, I don't know why, but this screams to me like, oh, this is gonna be so fun. The New Day are two of the best tag team. They're one of the best tag teams in the world. They're the greatest tag team that WWE has ever had. And putting them in the ring with a guy like Omos, who is having his first career match at WrestleMania, it just makes too much sense. Along with, I mean, I feel like it's been forgotten that AJ Styles is also in this match. Like, that's how crazy this is. So this is going to be it's going to be a sneaky good match, depending on how they work with Omos. But I think AJ Styles and Omos win. I want the New Day to win, but it kind of feels like the Raw tag division needs some new life. And I don't know. It just feels like the way they've built this with almost being unbeatable, it feels like AJ and Omos are going to win.
We're having new tag team champions by the end of the night. It's gonna be AJ Styles and me almost. And why do I say that? Obviously, I mean, pretty much the whole tag team division sort of thing. But I took a look at AJ Styles' accomplishments in WWE. Never won a tag team titles. Now's the day to
Oh,
do it.
now he'll be a Grand Slam champion.
That's the thing. It's like that's pretty much why I decided he was gonna beat Daniel Bryan all that time ago for the Intercontinental Championship. He never wanted. Again, I feel like that the creative they love Styles. They want him to get as many accomplishments as a row. Since I mean they're trying to play catch up, I guess, because obviously they got him when he was a little bit older. But I think it's time to do. I mean, he's still in the prime of his career. Might as well keep doing it. I've loved the whole Styles almost thing. The whole last week when they did that whole kind of they were playing games, charades, and Pictionary. That was great. I mean, again, the New Day is obviously great as well. Again, I don't think the New Day really lose anything. I mean,
They
they're
really
at the point of
don't.
their careers where they don't lose anything. It doesn't harm them. And again, Omos, he's been terrorizing them. I'm excited to see what he can do in the ring. If limited, we'll see. But Styles, we know what he can do. He can definitely hold his own. I think we see new champions. And guess what? I want them to win. It would be great to see. It would be great to
It would
see.
be a pretty good moment. But I was just looking this up, and AJ Styles came back to the WWE or came to the WWE in 2016 in January. So this will be 5 years since he's been to WWE, and he's about to be a Grand Slam champion. That's got to be like the fastest to a Grand Slam victory or Grand Slam in like WWE history.
Wow, yeah, that's unheard of. Maybe I mean that'll be the record. I mean, again, obviously he's done so much, and he deserves all of it, right? He's one of the best wrestlers we've seen in the past 20 years, maybe of all time. So I think we see new tag team champions in Omos. I mean, it is in again. What a dream! Your
I know,
in-ring
right?
debut at WrestleMania. You're teaming up with one of the best wrestlers in the world against some of the best tag team in the last however so many years, and you're winning
It,
the titles. Wow.
it's something that kids like when you're a kid, you'd say, I'm gonna win at WrestleMania. This is what they dream of, having those WrestleMania moments. So it's gonna be pretty cool for Omos. Like I said, I think AJ and Omos are gonna win, but selfishly, I want the New Day to win.
Absolutely. Listen, I agree. Except for the fact that I definitely think I want, and I think AJ Styles and Omos are gonna win. It should be a good win though. I think it's, again, like you said, it should be one of those sneaky matches that should be actually really good. We move on to the WWE Championship match because obviously we know what the main event's gonna be. We're gonna say that for the end. Bobby Lashley defending his title against Drew McIntyre. And this match, is it confirmed that it's going on first?
It is
Is it
going to
confirmed?
open the show.
So I
WWE
mean,
posted that yesterday.
what a way to come back to fans on with a WWE title match. However, this is hard. This is a hard one to pick because we've always thought, especially me, I thought that they want to give Drew McIntyre his moment in front of fans to win the WWE title. But then Bobby Lashley came along and is having absolutely the best run of his career in WWE, maybe in his best in-ring work ever. So I'm at a crossroads here. Um, so I have two different things that's going to happen. I think Drew McIntyre is going to win this match and be the new WWE champion. However, I want Bobby Lashley to win. I am scared to see if they're maybe jumping the gun here a little bit when it comes to WWE creative. Are you sure fans are going to cheer Drew when he wins? Because we know fans, we know how unpredictable they can be. Everybody's been enjoying Bobby Lashley's run. I personally believe that Bobby Lashley, from the way he's been booked as the Almighty, they gave him this new presentation for his entrance. He should have a longer reign than what he has. So, but I think they go with Drew McIntyre winning this. And again, we'll see what the reaction is. Obviously, I'm not saying people hate Drew. However, I think people just love Bobby Lashley and what he's been doing. Obviously, it's been deserved. I mean, both guys have been waiting so long to get their WWE title run, and they're getting it now. And it should be a good match, because obviously I've been saying this when Drew McIntyre first won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania last year. One of the most underrated matches in that whole reign was against Bobby Lashley at Backlash. That was honestly a really good match until obviously the whole thing with Lana happened in the end. That's when Bobby Lashley was just splitting up with Lana at that point. But it was a good match, and so I think they can do an even better match now. Um, but man, I just don't know. Obviously, no Hurt Business, no more of that. I guess I don't know if Baron Corbin will be involved in this match. We'll see. Obviously, MVP will be there. I don't think he'll be involved that much, but he'll be there. So to me, it should be a good one. I'm gonna say Drew McIntyre picks up the win here in a really good match. However, I really want Bobby Lashley to retain. What do you think, JP?
I actually agree with you 100%. This match is going to be a slugfest. Two big dudes who beat the crap out of everybody are going to beat the crap out of each other. It's going to be like those like old school like big dude versus big dude matches. We're just going to throw each other around. I'm excited for it. I think Drew McIntyre wins because of the way that I guess he's been booked so far during this. Drew McIntyre is at his best when he's kicking people's butts, like just straight up knocking everybody down. And that's a title chaser. Um, I also think they want to give him his WrestleMania moment winning the title with fans. But the main reason I want Bobby Lashley to win is for that reason. You can't recreate what happened at WrestleMania 36. That's just not going to happen. You can't recreate that moment and say, here, fans, enjoy this, even though we saw this last year. You're not going to be able to recreate that. That's something that's just not going to happen again. But what you can do is give Bobby Lashley his WrestleMania moment, him winning the title at Mania. I don't think he's won a title at Mania before. He's lost a title.
Did he beat Finn Balor 35 for the Intercontinental title, or did he lose that? I'm not sure.
He
But
lost that title.
okay. So yeah, listen, I pretty much agree with all you've been saying. I just again fans are unpredictable. I don't think they're gonna get the reaction maybe they want here. I mean, I don't think people will boo Drew that much for losing. I don't think he has that Roman mentality. But what were you gonna say? What you finish? What you gonna say?
I really don't think they're gonna boo Drew McIntyre. I just think fans will be a little disenchanted by it because we literally just saw this last year. Like we
Right.
saw Drew reach that point last year after winning the Rumble. You can't recreate that moment. Like I just really think Bobby Lashley needs his due. I think he's due for a long title run, and I feel like the matches you can get, while they might not be the same caliber of a Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus or Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles, it'll be different. And plus, we may or may not be seeing a Prince returning to Monday Night Raw. Maybe. We're not sure. But I think Bobby Lashley needs to get his due.
Yeah, I agree. And again, it's like, I was thinking, like, obviously, maybe the obvious decision is to have Bobby Lashley return. Again, it's like, I feel like if he does beat Drew, it's not going to be clean. Because again, Drew is their top babyface on Raw easily. I just don't think he'll be beaten cleanly, and which is why I think maybe Corbin gets involved, maybe a returning person. What if like Brock Lesnar gets involved in this match? I doubt that's
Oh
gonna
my
happen.
God.
That'd be funny.
Dude, that
That
would
would
be
actually
awesome.
that
Because
would
think
kind of be
about it. Then you can build up Brock versus Bobby Lashley, which is what everybody wants.
so. I can, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. So I think Brock still wants some payback for what Drew did to him last year. He'll probably maybe get interfered. He'll cost him the match. And then we'll probably see. I don't even think we'll see a singles match. We'll probably see a triple threat maybe between the three guys, which is what I thought we were going to get at WrestleMania. I mean, that was a couple months ago.
Honestly, I
I can
wouldn't
see it.
mind that. I
I
wouldn't
can see it.
mind it. I want a singles match between Brock and Bobby.
Me too.
That's
Yeah.
really what I want. But a triple threat, I wouldn't hate it. And like I said, an NXT champion just lost their title at Stand and Deliver. Could be making his way back to the main roster.
Okay.
You
Don't get me
never
too excited. Okay.
you never know.
Don't get me too excited because I was saying in the prediction show, what if he comes back and you're just like,
See,
you
I was
really.
against it until the match ended. And I was like, you know what? I think it's it. I think this is it. I think this is the move.
Listen, I think it is, and you don't change Finn Balor's mentality like they did before. You keep the same hard ass Finn Balor in the WWE. Again, I think it's still a sham that he's never held a title for more than 2 days. To a WWE World Title. You know what I'm saying? So I think it should happen. But going back to the match again, you're to here. We both think that Drew McIntyre is going to win the WWE Championship, but even though I'm kind of convincing myself maybe Brock Lesnar is going to come out, but I don't want to. I'll play it safe. But we both want Bobby Lashley to win. So we move on to the main event of the show, which we've been asking for, and I'm glad it's being the main event. Sasha Banks defending her SmackDown Women's title against 2021 Women's Royal Rumble winner Bianca Belair in a historic main event. Um, what happened the past couple weeks? Again, they've been kind of going back and forth at each other, saying who's really the best. She might be the quickest, she might be the roughest, the toughest, whatever, but I'm still the best. This past week on the Go Home show, we only saw 2 backstage interviews with the two, which I put on Twitter my distaste for. I think you should have maybe a face-off, something more for your main event, whatever. The one thing I did find interesting was that Sasha Banks in her backstage interview, it's like she was unconvinced about her being the best. She was kind of which I'll get to that in my prediction. I'm gonna let you start first though, JP, on this one. But like, she was kind of saying like, I'm the best. I am the best. She was like going back and forth with her words, and I thought that was kind of an interesting sort of touch to that promo. JP, for this historic main event, we've been asking it to be the main event, and they listened. Who is gonna walk out night one as the SmackDown Women's Champion? Who do you want, and who do you think will?
So I'm really excited for this match. I think it is well deserving of the main event. I saw some people on Twitter saying like SJW has caused this to be the main event. And here's what I want to tell you to the people who posted that. Turn off Twitter, put down the computer, put down the Xbox, put down the PlayStation controller. We got the vaccine now. Just go outside, please. Get some fresh air.
Touch the grass.
Touch some grass, look at some clouds, just do something, man, because that makes no sense at all. Why is it the main event? Because you have the Women's Royal Rumble winner. The Royal Rumble winner probably should get a main event at a 2-night WrestleMania. It makes sense. Also, Sasha Banks is arguably the most popular wrestler in the WWE. From the Mandalorian to being one of the faces of the women's revolution. She's probably right up there with Roman Reigns as in terms of popularity. Of course, they're going to be in the main event, and they're making history. Anytime the WWE gets a chance to make history, they're going to shoot it into the sun. They're going to push it straight to the top. They've always done it. Same, they did it with Kofi Mania, which was caused by fans. They main evented Rousey versus Flair versus Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was the Royal Rumble winner. And now these two are going to get the main event because they're the Royal Rumble winner. It makes too much sense. I don't know how people galaxy brain themselves out of thinking this match wouldn't be the main event. Like, come on, man. But I want and think Bianca Belair is going to win. I think this is her moment. I think you can't have like 2 out of 3 years where the women's Royal Rumble winner loses in a match because it was Asuka, then Becky Lynch, now Bianca Belair. Asuka lost to Charlotte. Becky Lynch won. I think Bianca has to win here. It's going to be one of the best matches of the WrestleMania, both nights of WrestleMania. I have no doubt about that. But I think we're going to see a new SmackDown Women's Champion.
So I talking about the people that don't think it should main event or whatever. I've seen a lot of people start off those statements by saying, "I'm not a sexist, but no, stop there," because you are. I don't know.
If you have to preface with "I'm not a sexist" or "I'm not a racist," but then you just delete the tweet.
Yeah, just start over. Here's the thing, I honestly even think that it's just deserving because these two are the best talents on the roster in general. This has had, I wouldn't say it has the best build, but it had the longest build compared to maybe Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. I just think it fits, and like you said, I feel like the Royal Rumble winner is promised a main event at WrestleMania. I hope that they're going to continue with this 2-day thing. It seems like they are. You give them the main event. You give the two people the main events. You alternate which one goes on night one and night two. You're good. This one deserves it. So that's just my little thing there. I've been saying we've both been saying why the past couple weeks, months, why it should main event. It is good. Bianca Belair is gonna leave WrestleMania with the title. However, I don't think it's actually the easiest one to predict. I think that I mentioned that promo that Banks did yesterday for a reason. I feel like she might go on full on heel here in this match. She's gonna do a lot of stuff here that are gonna be very questionable and very questionable to her kind of character, because I feel like now she's on the kind of the verge of being face or heel. The way she's been acting towards Bianca Belair, I think she feels threatened of that best role because Bianca Belair is just so talented. She's the new fresh young talent. Also, WWE likes to have people who are just coming up from NXT who are just making their main roster spot lose at WrestleMania. They did that with Shayna Baszler last year against Becky Lynch, but I'm not saying Shayna Baszler is not even on the same level as Bianca Belair now. It's just a little thing. And it seems like with women's matches, they don't listen to the fans. We wanted Rhea Ripley to win last year. No, Charlotte Flair won the NXT title for some reason, which we'll get to obviously her match in a little bit. I think this is going to be an absolute fantastic match. I'm going to pretty much say, I mean, as much as I think Drew and Bobby are going to be really good, Cesaro and Seth Rollins and these two are going to put on the best match of the night. And again, I just hope they don't rush this match. I hope they give it the main event feel. This is going to be great. I'm so excited to see this. But again, I could see possibly a way of Sasha Banks kind of retaining this title. And maybe kind of fully putting herself as a heel, and then maybe we get Bianca a little bit later, maybe the next pay-per-view or the one after. But I think it's WrestleMania. You make the moment. Also, let me ask you a question here. Has Sasha Banks ever won in WrestleMania?
Wait, I don't think they won the tag titles at Mania. I think they lost the tag titles at Mania because they lost.
That's my thing. Which
Sasha, I don't think Sasha's ever won.
So that's what I'm saying. There's a line here where are you going to keep having Sasha Banks lose at WrestleMania? Obviously this time for good reasons, because obviously Bianca Belair is great. What were we gonna say?
Well, I would say to counter that, Bianca Belair has never won a title at all. Like she
Right.
had, I think, 2 or 3 title matches in NXT, 2 against Shayna Baszler, and I think 1 against Kairi Sane or Io Shirai. I don't remember. No, it was 2 against Shayna Baszler, and I think 1 against Rhea Ripley, and she lost.
She lost all three. Jeez. Um,
So this could be like she finally breaks through for that moment. I definitely think there's going to be kind of some heelish moments for Sasha Banks. It could be at the end. You know how some people like at the end they kind of reconcile and like do that like moment where like they're making histories. They're gonna like hug and stuff like that. Could see a heel turn there.
could say. No, absolutely. Um, I wouldn't be surprised. Again, I just feel like that promo was just very like she always has that Edge sort of mentality, even though she's not really showing it off as much as Edge, where like she's just very desperate to show that she is actually the best. And the biggest threat she's had is obviously Bianca Belair, but still my thing doesn't change. But I don't think it's as clear cut as some people might say it is. But I still think that Bianca Belair leaves WrestleMania Night One as the new SmackDown Women's Champion, and I think she'll have a great reign. Again, I just think her and Sasha Banks could put on a really nice feud there. So that's night one. That's night one. We're gonna go on now to night two here, talking about the different matches and stuff like that. Again, we're gonna start with kind of the ones that I feel maybe aren't the most hyped up, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and move on to stay in the women's division. Talk about the women's tag team championship: Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus whoever we thought is gonna win. So, um, I'll go ahead and start here. And again, you picked Naomi and Lana. I picked the Riot Squad. So I'm going to be talking about who I think is going to win. So again, I just think that the title needs to change hands now. I feel like we've had a very long title reign with Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, and excuse me. I'll be honest with you, it's not hasn't been a bad reign. I kind of enjoyed them as tag team champions. They weren't the best. They weren't the worst. I kind of did enjoy them, but I think it's time for the whole team between these two to kind of end and then kind of go on their separate ways. We know Shayna Baszler is better, is in store for much better things and much greater things. I feel when it comes to the top of the women's division. But to me, give the titles to the Riot Squad. I think they not only do they deserve it. I just think it would be a great WrestleMania moment, especially for the fans and especially for the Riot Squad who've been through a lot. It's been kind of weird, kind of up and down for them. Sometimes they're really heavily featured, like they were featured a lot with Billy Kay that one time, and then they're off of television for a couple weeks, and and then they're back for one little squash match. And I just think they deserve it. I think Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan they deserve to get the titles here in their own WrestleMania moment. And again, I just feel like the whole Nia Jax Shayna Baszler thing should be over with. Again, I've enjoyed them, but maybe it's time we end this. Give me the Riot Squad to win this. Obviously, I obviously want the Riot Squad to win, but I think the title needs to change hands, whoever the team is in this spot. So, but give me the Riot Squad. They deserve the only established tag team. Let's get it going. JP, what do you think?
So I think Lana and Naomi are going to win, and I think the main reason for that is because of this match. I think that Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax are going to retain the tag titles if Lana and Naomi are the ones to win. The main reason for that is I don't think they should break up that tag team. Not because like they're a fantastic tag team. I haven't hated them, but outside of Shayna and Nia Jax, you don't have that many credible threats in the women's tag division. You break up that team and you're left with Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, Lana and Naomi, and then the Riot Squad, and then Natalia and Tamina.
Why'd you break up the Iconics?
See, that's the thing.
WWE.
That's the thing. This all snowballs. But Billy Kay is in the tag match, and Peyton Royce isn't doing anything. What is the reason? I don't know. But if it is going to be Lana and Naomi, I think Shayna and Nia Jax retain. However, if who I want to win, which is the Riot Squad, wins on night one, then I do think the Riot Squad will win those titles. But I don't think they need to break up Shayna and Nia Jax.
Hey, listen, it's a good point because I mean, besides Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, who really is in that tag division that's formidable, really no one. I mean, obviously, I can see Natalia and Tamina being good, but again, it's just like that's it. It's not. It's again, it hasn't been the strongest division on the show on Raw and SmackDown, and especially since they added the NXT women's tag team titles. So, but you heard it here. I think that the Riot Squad, if they win the tag team tournament, I think they're going to win and take the titles off of Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and night two. I just think it's a pretty good story too. Having to do two matches, two consecutive nights. You win a turmoil, and then you win the tag team champions the day after. We'll see some Reginald shenanigans probably, but that is we don't know if it's gonna be the opening match, but that's gonna be there for that match. So we go ahead and we move on. Let's go ahead and talk about real quick. Let's go ahead and talk about the Fiend versus Randy Orton here. And me and JP have talked about this sort of storyline that's been going on between the Fiend and Randy Orton. Uh, I think I can speak for JP in saying that we actually both really enjoy this whole feud between the Fiend and Randy Orton, and Alexa Bliss being part of that as well. And now they're gonna have a match at WrestleMania. The Fiend came back all burnt up at Fastlane. And now they set up a match here. No stipulation though. And I think that's kind of what me and JP are maybe are a little bit worried about. Maybe it's like we come to WrestleMania and it's a cinematic match. They really didn't say if there's a stipulation or not. But I really hope it's not in the ring. Personally, for me, I'm hoping that this is some sort of cinematic Firefly Funhouse match. They go to the Funhouse and John Cena's locked up from last year. That would be kind of funny to see. I'd like that very much. But JP, you go ahead and start here. The Fiend and Randy Orton. What's going to happen in this match?
Oh boy. Like I said, I've really enjoyed this build. I know a lot of people have hated it, but I think it's been really cool. I think it's been out of the box. The Fiend is a supernatural being, so of course supernatural stuff is going to happen to Randy Orton. I think Alexa Bliss has added a lot to this, but I really like, if this is going to be a normal match, then my excitement level goes from like here to like here, because you can't have the Fiend in a normal match. You can't do that. I don't think this story really. I mean, he's setting the man on fire. Like you can't go down to a normal match after you set somebody on fire and they come back.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they're going to announce to make it so where they have a stipulation. And what stipulation are you going to have? Is it going to be, I think it's going to end up being cinematic. Just they didn't tell us that it would be. Man, I really am not sure. I think the Fiend is going to win.
Right.
Depending on the match. Oh my gosh, this is tough, man. Because if it's a regular match, I think there's an alley for Randy Orton to win. But I think and want the Fiend to win because I think the Fiend needs a win. Not to say like the Fiend just can't pick back up where he was, but Randy Orton can do that easier because he's Randy Orton. I feel like the Fiend needs to be a monster who destroys people and just kind of haunts Monday Night Raw. It'd be pretty cool, just to have him terrorize whoever's WWE champion or whoever he chooses and just do Fiend stuff. But this match really needs a stipulation. I was talking about it on Twitter and somebody brought up a classic Inferno match where the ring gets set on fire. I feel like that's a little like gimmicky. I really don't like Inferno matches because it's not really Inferno. It's just the outside of the ring. And every time you get slammed, the fire goes up. I don't think that's very cool. If it's an Inferno match, I say light everything on fire. But I really think it's going to be cinematic. And I say that like hoping that it's going to be cinematic. Because if it's not cinematic, then I'm just like, oh God. Because I just remember that WrestleMania 34 match with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. And that was not good.
Right.
And I just don't want him to do that again.
Let me ask you a question, because that was one of the WrestleManias that I missed, but I was watching kind of replays of it or whatever. Did a spirit appear during that match? or my like a
I
ghost.
don't think a ghost appeared, but whenever Bray Wyatt would do the thing where he bends backwards on the corner, like the ring would like show animations of like maggots.
Okay,
Like
I think that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
it was just real weird, but you can't do that. That'd be a disservice to the Fiend and Randy Orton.
Yeah, it would be. For me, again, I think it needs to be cinematic. I just don't see a way for these two to actually be in the ring at WrestleMania doing it. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead, but I think the Fiend wins this, and I want him to win as well. He was literally almost murdered by Randy Orton. I don't know how you can win after that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to see how you can do it. Alexa Bliss picked up a win against Randy Orton technically, at Fastlane, so she got her win. Now it's time for the Fiend to get his win again. I just think that it's weird that they did, it would be kind of weird that to not announce a stipulation and then on Sunday it just becomes a stipulation. It's a cinematic match. At least say something, because for every cinematic match that we got, I'm pretty sure it was announced of some sort of stipulation. Like obviously the one at WrestleMania last year, Firefly Funhouse match,
The
even
Boneyard match.
which one?
The Boneyard match.
The Boneyard match, even that swamp fight that the Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman had, which is terrible. I hated that one. The street, even saying a street fight like what AEW did with Sting, they had to say something, but which is why I'm scared it might not be a cinematic match and it's actually just kind of a regular match. Which I mean, I'm not saying it can't be good. I'm just saying I would not want it to be that. I think it would be much better if they went the route of a cinematic match. But I think the Fiend wins this. And then I don't know if this story will end. Here's the thing, right? I think after this, Randy Orton is going to be gone for a little bit. Alexa Bliss said on Raw, the Legend Killer dies. She said dies at WrestleMania. Okay, so by dies it means that he's gonna be gone. 3 months he'll come back. Whatever. But yeah, I think after this we'll see a little bit of a hiatus from Randy Orton for a bit. And I think he deserves it, man. What he's been doing during the pandemic era, being in that feud with Drew McIntyre, doing the whole Fiend stuff, man. Randy Orton,
Edge.
the whole thing with Edge, Randy Orton's a legend. I know. I mean, we know this, except from when he, talks to Soldier Boy on Twitter. But other than that, he's been great. Get the rest, Randall Keith. So I think wins.
Not gonna
So
lie, if it is a live match, the Fiend's entrance at WrestleMania, if it's live, is going to be awesome.
oh no, JP. Now since you said that, now I want it to be a live match
See,
because
I've been
I need
thinking
to see
about
his entrance at WrestleMania.
I've been
I
thinking
need to.
about all the entrances that are gonna be like amazing, and I can already tell Sasha Banks' entrance is gonna be awesome.
Okay, hold on a second. I hate to cut you off, and I think you know what I wanted to say here. Okay, it's gonna be a great entrance with Sasha Banks. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna have to hear yes, yes, y'all. So fresh, y'all. No,
And I'll be like
no.
this.
Yeah, you'll be like that. Like it's a good theme song. It's terrible,
I
awful.
mean, it's gonna be the entrances are gonna be so amazing.
Yes.
Like Edge, dude, I can't wait. Um, Rhea Ripley's getting her entrance played live. We're gonna talk about that match, but live entrances normally don't have a good track record.
That's what we've been saying. Like Triple H is like the king of those, who has all these amazing entrances and then loses. It's only been a couple times, like obviously against Sting, he had the Terminator one, and then
I think he had the Batista one.
did he have one at 35? Okay.
I think.
Um,
I have to go back
I
and check that one.
I remember he had the Throne one at 22. He lost. He had the thing at 30, which is really cool. He lost. Yeah, at 21 when it's 21 and 17 when Motorhead performed,
Yep.
both lost. Which, by the way, that one at 17 is amazing. It's one of my favorite entrances.
Shawn Michaels descended from the heavens at 25 and lost. I think the only person who has a winning record with like special entrances is John Cena.
I guess John Cena, yeah,
because he had the gangster one, which was kind of cool. He did the one with the multiple John Cenas and won.
25. He did the one with the car at 23. So I mean, he's won a lot with the.
I think he's undefeated.
It's also John Cena too. So yeah, he probably is. But again,
like Randy Orton had his entrance played live at 30.
at
and
30.
lost.
Okay. Okay, I just remember there was a weird one actually at 33 against Bray Wyatt. It was a really weird one.
I
It
think
was
you're
weird.
talking about the snake going down
You mean
the ring with him.
the sperm one? Yeah,
Yeah,
that
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 was
that
it.
one.
That was
Yeah.
33.
Yeah, no, but since you said that, now I really want to see the Fiend's entrance live. That'd be great. We'll
Oh my
see. We'll
gosh,
see what happens.
it's gonna be
We'll
so
see what happens.
sick.
It's gonna be amazing. He has one of the best entrances.
It might
But
be
we
better
move
than the
on.
actual match.
Yeah, probably. We move on to Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, who's going to be with Logan Paul. And I loved JP's reaction. I knew I was predicting it because JP was like, "Yes, Logan Paul." Oh god, you know what I'm saying? So come on, okay. I admit the past couple weeks. Listen, I'm excited for this match. Before Logan Paul got into the picture, I said to myself on night 2, this could be one of the best matches of the night. No question. We know their history. We know the chemistry. We know what they've been through. And it's all set up for those two to have a match at WrestleMania. They bring Logan Paul into this. And I'll tell you what, 2 weeks ago when they had the red carpet premiere for Sami Zayn's documentary trailer, and Logan Paul was there, I actually really enjoyed Logan Paul's appearance there. I can't lie. I did. It was actually better than I expected. I thought that was funny. Listen, I think Sami Zayn is literally one of the funniest gimmicks right now in wrestling. I just think he's just so hilarious the way he's so neurotic and he's so paranoid. I think it's great. However, Logan Paul is going to be involved in this match, which really scares me because I just don't want him to be. And I feel like it's just simple as that. I don't think he'll be involved that much. In fact, I honestly feel at WrestleMania, since he's with Sami Zayn, I honestly think he actually cost Sami Zayn the match, and then Sami Zayn will continue on his conspiracy thing and stuff like that. And um, but I'll go ahead and start here, and I'll just say that we'll see Kevin Owens win here at WrestleMania. I don't think Sami Zayn wins this. And again, I think that will be the ending. We'll see a really good match between these two guys. But then at the end, we'll see Logan Paul sort of maybe cost Sami Zayn the match because maybe Sami Zayn accidentally did something to him. He yelled at him or whatever. Um, and I think that's the only Logan Paul involvement we'll get. I really don't want to see anything more than just maybe he punches him and then which leads into a stunner for a win. I really wouldn't mind that. Would I rather have him at nowhere near the match, obviously, but if he's gonna be, we know he's gonna be. He's Logan Paul. He's gonna have some sort of involvement. I think it's gonna help Kevin Owens to win. So I'm gonna pick Kevin Owens, and I actually want Kevin Owens to win. Why not? So, because he deserves a win after losing like 3 times to Roman Reigns. So, JP, what do you think?
This is one of my most anticipated matches of the whole WrestleMania card. You know the history between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Like I said with Cesaro and Seth Rollins, if you're a Ring of Honor fan in like 2009, buddy, this match is for you. And I'm excited because this is going to be the first time on the main roster that we see a heel Sami facing a face Kevin Owens. Every other time, it's been a face Sami versus heel Kevin Owens. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting with the roles reversed. I'm really not excited for this Logan Paul stuff. I thought the red carpet thing was pretty cool, but I thought this was gonna be a one-off, He just showed up once. But now he's gonna be there at WrestleMania. I'm like, I don't know about this. I think this should have been the same alley as Seth and Cesaro, where you just give them 20 minutes in a ring and let them go crazy. But I definitely think Logan Paul eats a stunner. That's gonna be something that happens. Logan Paul is gonna eat a stunner.
That'd be great. Yeah.
I also think Kevin Owens jumps off the pirate ship. I think he's gonna jump off the pirate ship, man.
Which, by the way, let's give a shout out to the set. The set looks
Oh my
amazing.
god, it's awesome.
I mean,
Absolutely
compared to what we got like
fantastic.
at 35, just a big screen. You know what I'm
And
saying?
like the
This is
lights,
amazing.
they're blinding.
Yeah, there's this one with the whole pirate ship and even like the stage with the whole sign and everything. They did a really good job. Obviously, they had to because obviously they had a year to plan this, but it's been great. But go ahead, continue. Yeah.
I think Kevin Owens jumps off the pirate ship. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna go crazy. I think and want Kevin Owens to win. Like you said, he needs a win coming back off of 3 straight losses to Roman. Um, I don't know where this would leave Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens after this, but I just know that their match is going to be one of my favorite matches of the night. So I'm going to go with Kevin Owens getting the victory. I think Logan Paul eats a stunner. and I think Kevin Owens jumps off the pirate ship.
Man, it seems like it's almost like, how is he gonna jump? How is he gonna get up there? How is he gonna get up the pirate
I don't
ship?
know. Remember at 36, he jumped off the pirate sign.
Yeah, he did.
So if there's a will, there's a
He's
way.
crazy. Yeah, he's
I'm telling you,
crazy.
he's my spirit animal.
Yeah, not yeah, it's a good choice. Uh, Again, it's gonna be great. I really don't see a way for them to really mess up in ring work. Again, I don't think Logan is gonna be really involved that much in the match, except for maybe the end, like I said, which is great because I feel like at the end, like you kind of predicted, maybe sort of my thing there. He's gonna help Kevin Owens to win the match, and then after the match, Logan Paul's gonna come in the ring and put out his hand for him to shake, and then maybe Kevin Owens will shake his hand and then stunner him, kind of like a Stone Cold Steve Austin thing
Yeah,
happens. So, I think that would be great. But again, like you said, I'm this is one of those matches that even with the titles involved, it's one of my most anticipated matches of the whole card. I just again those two have so much history, and I listen. I need to go back and watch that Ring of Honor stuff because that roster's stacked. You know what I'm
absolutely
saying? Like,
stacked. Like thinking about that whole like roster Adam Pearce put out, you had Seth Rollins, you had Cesaro, you had Chris Hero, who's Cassius Ono in NXT. You got Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. I think Roderick Strong was on
he
there.
was in there. Daniel Bryan. I
Daniel
mean,
Bryan. I think Kenta was on there. Oh my god.
it was that was wow. That was really stacked. So again, it's great. And obviously, I mean, guys like Adam Cole and those guys came later. But again, it's gonna be a great match. So we move on. We move on to the title matches now. Let's go ahead and go with the United States Championship. Riddle taking on Sheamus. Riddle. Um, I don't honestly don't remember the last time we did a week in wrestling, and if we talked about this. I think we did. But the funniest thing I've seen in the last couple months in wrestling, maybe
I know what you're
is
talking
when
about.
it's when Asuka was preparing to do a contract signing with Rhea Ripley. I think we did talk about this maybe. I don't know. Um and he was talking to Asuka, and during it he's like, "Do you think they like scooters in Japan?" And then she's like saying something, and he's just like he starts to laugh like, "Oh, I forgot what I was going to say." He
And
rides
just
off in a scooter.
scooters right off.
I've never seen that before. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I was shocked. My heart honestly dropped at that point because I thought like something was wrong, but it was just probably still
I
out of his mind. I
I
don't know.
thought it was fantastic. I thought like it was an easy way to play it off with his character. Was like, oh, I just forgot, and just scooters right
Yeah.
off.
See, I thought he was gonna be like, because obviously when people forget their lines, they improvise. Maybe he said it like in his normal voice. Like I thought he'd be like, "Oh, bro, forgot what I was gonna say," and then just writes off. He was just like, "I forgot what I was gonna say," and then just writes off. Um, it was great. But talk about this match. Obviously him and Sheamus have been getting into a little spat here. Um, and this was kind of afterwards that Sheamus lost that match at Fastlane against Drew McIntyre in the No Holds Barred match. Um, and so they've been having a little feud. Sheamus actually pinned Matt Riddle in a match. Excuse me, it was a non-title match. He won it. And then obviously we saw kind of an intense side of Riddle afterwards. Next week we see Riddle versus Ali. And then we kind of seen them kind of go back and forth, him and Sheamus. So here's the thing about this match. Honestly, um, I'm excited for this match. But JP, I'm gonna go ahead and start with you here. Um, does the match interest you at all? Who do you think is gonna win? Who do you want to win?
This is going to be one of those sneaky good matches where, like, we're going to look back at this card and say, oh, yeah, it had Banks Belair. It had the triple threat for Universal title. But it's going to be one of those, like, forgotten matches where it's like, oh, this was actually sneaky good. Because I think, like we've been saying, Sheamus is on a heck of a run right now in terms of in-ring work. The guy, he's entering that can't miss. He doesn't miss label. Matt Riddle, when he's on, he is on, and he can go with the best of them. I think it's going to be a very strike heavy match. It's going to be hard hitting, going to be real physical. I think Matt Riddle is going to win. I'm not very confident in that. I want Sheamus to win because I feel like Sheamus needs to be rewarded with a title for the run that he's been on. And I think logically, you can have Matt Riddle face whoever wins the WWE title. Like he can move up. Thinking about it logically. And like I know he's not gonna be at Mania, but I kind of feel for Keith Lee because I feel like he was supposed to be in this spot in this place at Mania, and I'm just like, man, the match with Matt Riddle and Keith Lee would have been amazing. But I hope he gets better. Hopes he feels better. I really think that Matt Riddle's going to win, but I also want Sheamus to win. I think Sheamus needs to be rewarded for his work throughout this whole pandemic period, especially of late with his match with Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. And I feel like Matt Riddle is in this place where you could logically say, like, yeah, he can challenge for the WWE Championship because he never really like lost to Bobby Lashley, and we've never seen him fight. Excuse me, we've never seen him fight Drew McIntyre. So that could be a pretty fun match. So in all honesty, I think Matt Riddle's going to win. I want Sheamus to win, but it's real close.
Right. So for me, as much as I really want Sheamus to be rewarded for what he's done, again, we kind of compared him to what he's kind of like Jey Uso's Raw. We've compared him to that, where like he loses every match he's been in, but he looks so good in it, and he always puts out his number one work. And again, like even when he's losing, it's really almost the best in ring work arguably the best in ring work he's been doing. So I like that he is getting a title match at WrestleMania in some capacity against a guy like Riddle. These guys had a really good match last year and during the later months. It was actually a really good television match. They put on a banger there. Hopefully they could do almost the same thing here. But I have Riddle retaining here. I just feel like maybe what his point isn't doing right now is maybe just putting over people, and maybe a guy like Riddle is the person to do it in. And like you said, I heard the reports from that elimination triple threat match where it's supposed to be Bobby Lashley, Riddle, and Keith Lee. Keith Lee was supposed to win that match, so that was the reports that I read. So to me, I just feel like whoever wins this match is kind of being maybe fed to Keith Lee in a way. Because I think Keith Lee deserves the United States title. I think it deserves everything, obviously. Hopefully he's okay. I don't know if it's just because he still has that injury from back then, or it's like maybe they just want to use him after Mania. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, I'm gonna go ahead and say Riddle wins here. I just feel like having him lose to Sheamus a couple weeks ago maybe is kind of an inclination of that sort of thing. But again, I just think they're gonna put on a great match here. Now, who do I want to win? I'll maybe go ahead and agree with you on Sheamus because again, he's just I think he deserves it, man. From all the work he's been putting in. So I wouldn't mind whoever wins this one. To be honest, you have the young guy kind of get over, or you have the veteran who's been busting his ass all week in and week out in these past couple months since the start of the year win. But I think this is gonna be like you get again a sneaky good match. Could be one of the better matches of the night. But I definitely think that Matt Riddle retains the title here. So we move on to another championship match, a championship match that seems to be very interesting. We have Big E defending his Intercontinental Championship against Apollo Crews in a Nigerian drum fight. Whatever the hell that is, I don't know. Sounds pretty cool. We'll see. We'll see what it is. I don't think it's gonna be like a cinematic thing. I think they're gonna be in the ring. This match has been just absolutely. This whole feud, excuse me, has been so weird because these two guys can really go in the ring. We know this. And the matches they've had have been weird in itself. They started off so good. It could be a really good match. And then always at the end, it's always a botch finish or some sort of storyline to make it indecisive of who really is the coming out of there. The first match they had, the first time it ended in like in a double pinfall. They gave the win to Big E. They restarted the match and Big E won clean after that. Second time, it was sort of a mishap. The
Yeah,
match
that
at
weird roll
Fastlane,
up.
the roll up thing where it would look kind of weird, and then again at Fastlane, where we predicted on that prediction show that this could be a really good match. It's gonna be one of the best matches of the night. Hopefully, it started off that way, and then they had this whole thing where they were trading pinning predicaments, and it looked like maybe Apollo Crews had the pin, but then they gave it to Big E. It was weird. So that the whole feud has been plagued with this. They put on a stipulation now, which is this Nigerian drum fight thing. Um, So we'll see what happens. Again, this is Big E defending the title in his hometown, Tampa, Florida. However, I think I'm gonna pick Apollo Crews to win this and to finally get the Intercontinental title here. I mean, it would make the character look a little stupid if he's gonna challenge in his own sort of stipulation. You have to win in your own sort of stipulation, right? Um, I just think Apollo Crews, what he's been doing is great. This new kind of new character gimmick, this whole Nigerian royalty thing, kind of channeling that's the whole sort of gimmick and sort of like that. And um, again, just I need people to stop saying it's like Black Panther coming to America. It's not funny. It wasn't funny the first time. Okay. Um, but again, I think I think these guys could finally put on hopefully the best match of their whole feud at WrestleMania. I really don't know what's gonna take to win this match. If there's whole like a thing or maybe I don't know, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna say that I want Apollo Crews to also win this match, and I think that after this, we'll see Biggie maybe get in the title picture, or start to get in maybe that main title picture. We'll see. But I'm gonna say Apollo Crews wins this one. This one it was hard to predict. I think I could see either man winning this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick Apollo Crews to get the Intercontinental Championship in this new gimmick. I think it fits him. Also, that whole royalty thing. I think that Intercontinental title kind of fits that whole mentality thing as well. So I'll pick him. JP, what do you think?
So I think this match is going to be a fight. Like this isn't going to be like a wrestling match. This is going to be a fight. This is going to be a brawl. The intensity from the promos Big E has made, like the one they showed yesterday, knocked that out of the park. The promos that Apollo and Big E have been cutting on each other have matched the intensity. It's raised the bar for this match. I'm really excited for this one. Big E is in his hometown. He's gonna have the live entrance with Wale performing his theme song. This is also Apollo Crews' first WrestleMania match ever. And it's a singles match for the Intercontinental title. Man, again, stuff you can only dream of, right? I'm going to go with Big E. I think and want Big E to retain the title. I think he's barely scratched the surface of what he can do with that title. I think there are plenty more challengers for him. And I don't really feel like they should push him straight into the main title picture right away because it's so log jammed. It'll have Roman, Edge, Daniel Bryan, whoever wins the Cesaro Seth Rollins match, whoever loses that match, King Corbin is going to be lurking around somewhere. Jey Uso just won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. It's a logjam right now. So I want Big E to retain. I think there are plenty more challengers for him other than Sami Zayn, Apollo Crews, and Shinsuke Nakamura. But this is going to be one of those, again, sneaky good matches. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do with this Nigerian drum fight. What I'm thinking is they're going to be like drums. It's going to be kind of like that arcade match AEW had. But instead of like arcades, it'll be like Nigerian style drums around the ring. And you get to use them in like a fight. I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of speculating just based on the name. But I'm really excited to see this match. The entrances are going to be really, really cool. And I think this is going to be their best match. It's going to be one that potentially steals the show. But like I said, I'm going with Big E.
Yeah. So again, I think that's probably the first match where we had totally different things of who we want and who we think is going to win it. Um, I can also see this feud kind of going where they're kind of maybe trading the title one after another. I don't know if this feud really ends here. I mean, I know it's a big stipulation like that, but maybe again he uses that stipulation because he is a heel Apollo Crews into a way where it's not totally decisive. We'll see. It should be interesting what the stipulation actually means. We move on to the final two matches on the card here, and we'll go ahead to the Raw Women's Championship. Asuka defending her title against Rhea Ripley. And you're going to start with this one. This has been an interesting one. Rhea Ripley just got called up. I mean, her last match was against Raquel Gonzalez in the last woman standing match on an NXT New Year's Evil. And then they've been saying on Raw how she's coming soon. They've been saying this the past couple weeks. She's finally here. The first time she comes on Raw, she challenges Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania, which I've seen has fans maybe debating here. Is it, even though they always say that these people should be pushing to the moon, and then they're pushing to the moon, and they're not happy. But this is what I've been getting from this, because obviously literally the first day she's on the main roster, she challenges Asuka. I was excited for it. Again, I just think this is can be a really awesome match here. We initially thought that maybe Charlotte Flair would be added to this in a triple threat, possibly. Didn't happen. I think she's still quarantining with COVID or something like that. I don't know. Maybe there's other things happening with Andrade in the background. Who knows? It's a singles match now. JP, who is gonna leave WrestleMania with the Raw Women's Championship? Is it going to be Asuka? Is she going to continue her long reign, or is it Rhea Ripley, the new Raw Women's Champion? What do you think?
So I feel like I've said this for like the past 3 matches in a row. This is another sneaky good one. This is going to be another sneaky good match where we look back and it's like, wow, this is a lot better than I thought it was. Rhea Ripley, her first match on the main roster is at WrestleMania. Well, actually, this isn't her like, this is her first match as a member of the main roster. Her second WrestleMania.
Well, I guess it would be her second match on the main. She had that tag match with Asuka.
Second, tag match second match on the main roster.
Yeah.
She's having the people who do her theme song play her out live. Again, we've spoken about how bad luck that is, how much that is a bad luck.
Yeah.
This is tough. I think Rhea Ripley wins because you can't build this person up with all the hype that she has to lose. I also feel like, and this is no fault of Asuka's, her title reign has been kind of underwhelming. It's been snake bitten, from concussions to injuries to Lacey Evans getting pregnant to whatever's happening with Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
And just bad booking. I feel like Rhea Ripley will be a shot in the arm in this women's division, give them some fresh blood. And, I kind of think that she's going to be that face of the women's division for WWE, along with Bianca Belair. Who I want to win, I think, is also Rhea Ripley. But I'm kind of going back and forth because, Io Shirai just lost the NXT Women's title. If you have Asuka win, you could potentially do Io Shirai versus Asuka for the Raw Women's title. And I would not mind that one bit. You could also do Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai for the Raw Women's title. And again, wouldn't mind it at all. But I definitely think, and I think I want Rhea Ripley to win. I feel like this is for some people, it's like their moment is their time. I think this is her moment. She didn't get it at last year's Mania. She's going to get it this year.
So, first of all, I was a little scared because I thought there was a ghost in your house because the poster fell.
It's the Fiend.
Did you notice that? Okay.
It's the Fiend.
It's the Fiend in your house. No, I agree. I think Rhea Ripley needs to win this, and not just because she's gonna get kind of I wouldn't say payback, but obviously because she lost the last WrestleMania, she lost the NXT title to Charlotte Flair. I still hate that. I think she wins it against Asuka. I just, again, like you said, the Asuka title reign needs to end. Because again, I heard this stat and I could not believe this. This is gonna be the first pay-per-view title defense for Asuka since Night of Champions, Clash of Champions. Who did she face there? Selena Vega, who's been released.
Oh God.
So that's bad. And I know she was supposed to defend it against Lacey Evans at Elimination Chamber. Find a replacement at least for her. I don't know. Again, it needs a fresh start, the Raw Women's title. I hope the next time, because it should not be the last time we see Asuka with the title. We should have a better reign the next time, more planned. Again, I know the pandemic happens, whatever, but still, there's not really an excuse for that. Rhea Ripley needs to win this. Again, like you said, the fresh start with this title to kind of go into post-Mania. You have a lot of opponents there. You can have a match against Charlotte, which I hope doesn't result in her winning, but you can have it. It would be great. Again, a rematch against Shayna Baszler again, which I'm hoping if they split that tag team, you can have that. So again, there's a lot of momentum here with Rhea Ripley now, while there isn't any with Asuka. And again, not her fault at all. It's just it's the booking, it's the creative. I think Rhea Ripley needs to come out of here with a title, and I think it'll be a great match between the two. Obviously, last week when they had that tag match against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, they she actually attacked Asuka during the match, so that they could lose. I'm not saying that means that she's like a heel or anything. But we know how brutal, no pun intended, really Rhea Ripley is. So it's fine by me. So I think she win this, and like you said, I think it's to be a really good match. And I think again this, what this reminds me of, this WrestleMania. If Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair do win this match, it'll remind me of WrestleMania 21, where we saw the new faces of the WWE kind of come in with Batista and John Cena winning the World Heavyweight and the WWE titles. We see Bianca Belair, we see Rhea Ripley come out of WrestleMania like that. To me, it's poetry in itself. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think Rhea Ripley will leave with the championship, and hopefully Asuka gets a fresh start after that. Does a lot more after. We move on to the main event of the whole show. Triple threat match for the Universal title. Roman Reigns defends it against Edge, the 2021 Men's Royal Rumble winner, and Daniel Bryan. So,
oh my God,
I am totally excited for this match. If you watched SmackDown yesterday, we had 3 amazing promos with each person, especially Edge. Edge, again, what we've seen from all of these 3 guys, we know what we're going to get from Roman. We've been seeing it every single week. He's going to put on a damn good promo every single week. Him just calling out Daniel Bryan, him calling out Edge, him saying that again, this show is the reason why it's getting good ratings. It's true. Him is the reason putting relevance on the Universal title. It's true. It's going to be great. What Daniel Bryan did at the start of the show, saying how it could be his last WrestleMania, great stuff. Edge putting on very much like he's so desperate. He's almost psychotic to the point that he needs this title. Poetry is writing itself. Tomorrow, Sunday, will be 10 years to the date he retired and he gave up the World Heavyweight Championship.
Man.
It's too much. It's too much. It's there. But then you have Daniel Bryan, who's been having so much momentum and so much heat going into this. He did make Roman tap out, but not to win the match. And again, he's been having the whole momentum. So who's going to win this match? Who's going to leave WrestleMania with the Universal title? I'll go ahead and start here. You can make a case for all 3 men to win this match and to leave. I definitely think you can make it. It's debatable of who should win this. Roman Reigns is having the best run of his career by far. Been having the best work. It's the best Universal title reign I think ever so far in its inception. I mean, maybe it's because I haven't. You think so too? Okay, so I think it is. So if you really leave WrestleMania with the title, I wouldn't be mad. Daniel Bryan. So I'll just say who I want to win. I want Daniel Bryan to win this, and that's part of it is bias because Daniel Bryan's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But his momentum going into this, his story going into this could be his last WrestleMania main event. To do this, the last time he was put in a triple threat match for the title, he won it at WrestleMania 30. He said it yesterday. He said, "People always doubted me this whole time. They always told me no, but ask Randy Orton, ask Batista. Now you have to ask Edge and Roman Reigns. I want him to win. I want him to have a last title run." Then you have Edge, who again, he lasted 29 other men to be a number 1 in the Royal Rumble match. I'm picking Edge to win this match and to be the new Universal Champion, leaving WrestleMania with it. 10 years to the day he retired and gave up the World Heavyweight Championship. It's the same story. He's never lost it. I mean, I guess if I'm equating the Universal title to the World Heavyweight title because why not? He's never lost it. I think Edge, out of all people, deserves one last world title reign. And I think the character he's at with the whole psychotic thing, he's so desperate to win it. I think it's great. And why is Daniel Bryan in the match? I think it's just to take the pin so he
Yeah.
can win it. And Roman Reigns is saved from a pin. So I'm picking Edge to win this match and to leave WrestleMania I was going to say World Heavyweight Champion. Leave WrestleMania the Universal Champion. Would I be mad with it? No. I love Edge. He's a legend, Hall of Famer. Obviously, he deserves one last title run because he's been doing some amazing work. I want Daniel Bryan to win. JP, what do you think?
Oh my gosh. I thought I knew who I wanted, who I thought was gonna win. And then Friday happened. All three of those guys cut amazing promos. Daniel Bryan's opening promo reminded me of the Yes movement at WrestleMania 30. They're saying like nobody thought he could do it, but then he did. Batista didn't think he could do it, but then he did. Randy Orton didn't think he could do it, then he did. Now Roman and Edge don't think Daniel can do it until he does. Edge put everybody in a blender with that promo. He said Daniel Bryan was a indie hall troll, a bingo hall troll. Yo, he just shooting shots. He called Roman Samoan Edge because they started out in trios and used a spear. And I was like, well, you know what? I kind of want Edge to win. Then Roman shows up at the end, and there was one line where he's like, when you show up on 12, the 10 comes easy. Talking about how he's always there. He's always doing the best because he's always been the best. When you show up above everybody else, stooping down to their level is already easy. That is cold. This man is on another level promo-wise, which is why I think Roman Reigns is going to win. I think Roman Reigns retains the title at Mania. This dude is on another level, man. This is peak heel run. This is one, I might be hyperbolic. I might be over exaggerating this. This is one of the best heel runs we've seen with a title in the modern era. This might be the best title run we've seen in the modern era since WWE's gone PG-13. This might be one of the best in terms of promos. You can't say he's cut a bad promo since he got the title. Matches, he hasn't had a bad match since he got the title. The amount of possibilities, because you can still have one-on-one matches and they'll just be endless. You can do a Roman versus Seth in the Battle of the Shield people. You can do Cesaro versus Roman. Shoot, you could bring Finn Balor to SmackDown. The promos, oh my God, it would be amazing. I think Roman wins. Now, who I want to win? This is so tough because they're all so great. I'm not going to be mad if anybody wins. I'm not going to be mad at whoever wins because I think they all are more than deserving of it. I kind of want Daniel Bryan to win. Just that entire Yes movement, this feels like the Yes movement. And getting that one last run, you can leave Roman out of the pin. Pinning Edge would be kind of interesting. Oh, but then, you got Edge 10 years today having to retire, getting that title back. The possibilities with like Edge, because, he was saying like he was doing Hurricane Runs off the top rope after people were calling him a part-timer. And I'm like, you know what? Dude, some of these matches he could have. Oh my God. That meme with the dude just wearing the basic NFL logo on the hat, or like that meme with the people holding up the sign that says, "I just hope both teams have fun." I just hope everybody has fun. I just hope everybody has fun. If I have to say who I want to win, I want Daniel Bryan to win. but I also want Edge to win, and I also want Roman to win. But I think Roman's going to retain. I think there's a higher chance of Roman retaining than there's a chance of Daniel Bryan winning. I think if I had to rank it, it'd go Roman, Edge, Daniel, which I guess is what they want us to think. So I think Roman wins, but I want Daniel Bryan to win.
So WrestleMania 36, WrestleMania 35, both ended with the big baby faces winning the title. 34. What was 34?
34 ended with that was in New Orleans. That ended with Brock retaining and beating the life out of Roman.
Right, and then throwing the title to Vince at the Gorilla. So yeah. So I mean, history shows that usually the baby face, the big baby face, leaves WrestleMania with the title at the main event.
But who's the baby face in this, man?
It's Daniel Bryan, because Edge is not. I mean, I'm not saying he's a heel. He's getting close to it though, and Daniel Bryan is pretty much the only big baby face in this one. I'm not again. I just think that I mean, I'm gonna stick with it. I mean, again, like I said before, I think you can make all cases for every single man to win. And again, like you said, whoever wins, I just. By the way, I mean, this is gonna be an amazing match, right? This has the ability to be an all-time WrestleMania main event, like literally.
This could be the match of the weekend.
It could be. And again, you have a lot of matches to compete from, but still, I mean, the story is there. And for the people, again, like, I mean, obviously to each their own, but obviously there's the population of people out there that don't think that Daniel Bryan should be in this match. I just think he adds so much to it, especially because we don't see the Edge we're seeing now. You know, the Edge before that came back, I'm not saying Edge was bad, but he's better as a heel. We know Edge.
He's
you know
better
what I'm saying?
as crazy Edge.
Crazy, psychotic, nut job Edge. And that is what he's doing right now, and it's amazing. And having a guy like Daniel Bryan there is great as well. So to me, there's no really bad thing that can come out of this unless the match disappoints, which I mean, I hope it not. I hope it doesn't. Because listen, the last couple times we had the main event of a WrestleMania be a triple threat match, it's always been great. WrestleMania 30 was a great match. Daniel Bryan won. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Redacted in WrestleMania 20 was
31.
phenomenal.
31 when Seth Rollins cashed in. Amazing.
Yes.
It counts as triple threat.
It counts. But again, I said Redacted. Obviously, I mean Chris Benoit. That match at WrestleMania 20 was phenomenal. It's one of the best matches I've ever seen. Probably the best triple threat match I've ever seen. I haven't seen Brock, Cena, and Rollins at Royal Rumble that one year.
That one was good.
Which I heard was really good. I need to see that. But again, the three guys in the ring are all just so legendary. You know what I'm saying? For this match, and they're all at the peak. Even with Edge at his age, we saw he could go and put up some awesome matches. Imagine what he can do here with two guys like this. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be legendary.
Do you think Jey Uso interferes?
I think he'll get involved.
Because it is a triple threat, so there's technically triple threat rules, which means there are no rules.
Which is no disqualification, right? He'll get involved. I think maybe, I don't think it'll come to the point where like the referee like ejects him or anything, but it might come to the point where he's gonna get wiped out of the match. I don't know how, but he might get like a concerto from Edge and he'll be wiped out with the rest of the match. I don't know, but it's gonna be great. I can't wait to see it. And again, I think we see a new champion come out of this. But I listen, for people that say that Roman Reigns should still be champion, again, like I can't disagree. Like he's on the run of his life, which again, I feel like making it a triple threat is almost too much of an inclination that someone is there to take the pin and it can't be Roman. So that's kind of mostly my decision. And I just think Edge is going to do it. I think he deserves one last world title reign. I think it's going to happen. So that's it.
You know what? I think I like that logic, man. I think I might change my answer.
Listen, go ahead. I mean, listen, when this recording closes, All predictions are locked.
All right.
Are locked in.
So, final answer. I think Edge is gonna win. I think having Daniel in there. I think I said it like way when Daniel Bryan first started making the run towards the title. I'm like, they're adding him in so Roman doesn't take a pin. This could end up being that situation. Again, I'm not a fan of Royal Rumble winners losing because Shinsuke lost, which I'm mad about to this day. Seth won, and now we have Edge. But again, why is everybody so great in this match?
I think that if Daniel Bryan wins the title, it's going to be pinning Edge. I don't even think Edge loses a whole lot by getting pinned. Again, he's Edge. I think he can recover. However, comma, I just think that Daniel Bryan was put there for a reason. I think it was made a triple threat for a reason. And again, that it's the best way for the big baby face, maybe the younger guy that they don't want to get pinned to kind of stay out of the decision. And obviously it gives Roman reason to kind of get back in the picture. Maybe we see Jimmy Uso come back. Maybe we see him. Well, I don't know if he'll side with them immediately. Maybe he will. I don't know. We could see a lot of stuff happen, a lot of shenanigans.
Then, you have you could just have Roman win it back.
Oh, yeah.
It won't be quick, but you can have Roman win back the title. It's just if Daniel takes the pin here, where does he go from here, man?
That's a good question. But
I mean, if Edge takes the pin, where do you go with Edge?
A lot of decisions will have to be made.
You know what? I was just thinking about this, and this is probably the tinfoil hat theory.
Oh, God. Okay.
So you know how the Raw and SmackDown after Mania have all the debuts from NXT, returning people, all that jazz? They could execute a trade. Whoever gets pinned in the SmackDown Universal title match goes to NXT. And up comes Finn Balor.
That's weird.
It's weird, but I wouldn't mind it at all. Edge versus Finn Balor. Daniel Bryan versus Finn Balor. Something we haven't seen in the WWE. This Roman versus this Finn Balor would be fantastic. Edge has already interacted with Finn. And then you could go whoever gets pinned. Say if it's not Roman. If Roman gets pinned, he's staying on the main roster. If Daniel Bryan gets pinned, go down to NXT. Daniel Bryan versus Pete Dunne. Daniel Bryan versus Johnny Gargano. Daniel Bryan versus Karrion Kross. Daniel Bryan versus Kushida. Walter. You got Ed. If Edge gets pinned, the possibilities are endless.
It's not happening. This is not happening.
I'm talking myself into this. I'm going to be so disappointed on Monday or Friday or Wednesday or Tuesday. Actually, Tuesday. I'm going to be so disappointed if Finn Balor doesn't show up on the main roster. Like, I'm just going to be so mad. And I'm going to be mad if I don't see Edge or Daniel Bryan on NXT on Tuesday. But
prepare to be disappointed.
I don't know, man.
That would be the best prediction you've ever made if they do this whole trade thing. That would be just so random, honestly.
I'm thinking back to the days where they had the draft. And I think they did it this past year, where they had the draft. It makes sense to involve NXT because they are a third brand.
They are.
But I really don't know with this Universal title match, man. I could logically see everybody in this match winning, which makes this so difficult to pick and which makes this match so great. Because every pinfall is going to be like, oh, could they win it here? And he's just like, it'll have you on the edge of your seat.
It's going to be great. Again, Roman Reigns has not missed when in a pay-per-view match for the title. Literally has not. I think that this could possibly be the best. Obviously, again, the stakes. It's WrestleMania. You have two. I mean, all three of these guys are Hall of Famers. I mean, one of them is. Two of them are easily going in. And it should just be a great one. It should be great, legendary. Like I said, when it comes to WrestleMania triple threat matches, this will go up there and like maybe the Mount Rushmore WrestleMania triple threat matches. Maybe just one of the best WrestleMania matches. Period. We'll see. Again, I don't want to hype this up too much, right? But WrestleMania 37, and that's the last match of the card. WrestleMania 37 is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be eventful. It's gonna have a lot of weird stuff happen. We'll see if we see returns. Becky Lynch posted a social media post with different words, and the first letter of the words spelled out night one, whatever the hell that means.
Don't do this.
Why did it spell out night one? That was not a coincidence.
Don't do this, man, because you're gonna talk yourself into Becky Lynch showing up, and it's not gonna happen. She just had a child, man.
But why did she spell out night one? That's my question.
Beats me.
I feel like she'll make an appearance somehow. Maybe it's like a video. Through video, we see her talk. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she's cheering on her hubby in her match, in his match. Don't know. She has to make an appearance. Yeah. In some way. Why? There's no way. That does not mean she's not making an appearance in some fashion.
I think she is, but she's not going to get involved in the SmackDown title match because, again,
no, she's not.
What?
No. Well, even if she does,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think she's going to be at WrestleMania. And I'm saying this because I'm not going to try and hype myself up too much.
You just hyped yourself up to thinking there's going to be a trade and Finn Balor's going to go to the main roster and Daniel Bryan or Edge is going to go to NXT.
And you told me that was weird. So I'm trying to be less weird.
No, but she spelled out night one. What does that mean?
This all reminds me of when everybody thought CM Punk showed up to this indie wrestling show like last year around when AEW was starting, and everybody thought CM Punk was going to come back. Don't do this to yourselves, please. Please. I'll believe she's going to be at Mania when I hear the music and when she walks out.
I don't even think she'll be there like in a match because I feel like if she's going to interfere, it's going to be the Raw match. I don't think it's going to be the SmackDown match. That'd be weird. I mean, maybe she does. I don't know. I don't think she makes an appearance like physically. Like, again, I think she just makes some sort of appearance in some fashion. Again, why spell out night one? There is a reason. Whatever the reason is, we'll see tonight. So that's WrestleMania. That's our first WrestleMania predictions episode. Again, the next episode we'll talk about NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. We'll talk about the reactions and the results from WrestleMania 37. Again, the first event coming back with fans. They're going to add so much to this event. The set looks great. Should be a great night in Tampa. Hopefully every match is great, including Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman in a steel cage. Hopefully. But we should be good. So that's gonna do it for us. Again, follow us on Twitter at Yell_Sell. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Zach Weinberger, Zach with an H, WEINBERGER. We both write for the University Press at UPress Online. JP will talk about a story he just did that was great. You can find me at the Jewish Ford. Have another story in the works dealing with Jewish baseball player Danny Valencia, which should be a good story to read on. So check out that when that comes out. Another story, hopefully in the workings with a wrestler, a pretty famous one. Hopefully that gets to work. Again, a lot of stuff will be there as well. Do another pod with Jacob Brown called The Nerd Pod. You can find it on Twitter at The Nerd Pod 2. We talk about nerd stuff, movies, television shows, comic books, whatever. I'll actually be on the call with him tomorrow for the FAU baseball. So check out that as well on his social media pages. JP's Twitter account is at Acosta32_JP. What else do you have to plug?
Like I said, I write for the University Press. I just had a pretty good article, I think, come out about Howard Schnellenberger, who passed away a couple of weeks ago. I think it's a pretty good story. I also write for Big Cat Country, an SB Nation affiliate for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Recently, Jaguars fans raised over $5,000 for Trevor Lawrence's wedding registry. So if you ever doubt how fans are in Duval, don't ever doubt again. We are ride or die for the people we choose to be. Um, I also appear on the You Press Play podcast. I'm the host of the You Press Play Sports podcast. I talk about anime on the Entertainment podcast. You're gonna want to check those out, but just follow along at Acosta32 underscore JP. See what I'm doing, see where I'm going.
And that's going to do it for us. Enjoy WrestleMania these next 2 days. Make sure to listen to us, like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube page, support us on streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, etc., etc. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good weekend.